G'day everyone, it's Jay and welcome back to Derriere Farms. When I did my last video, which was the news and announcement video about the year 2 Seasons Pass, I also promised you that I would give you another video where I examine whether or not I think, and this is going to be personally my opinion, whether or not the year 2 Seasons Pass is worth it or not. And we're definitely going to get to that in a few minutes. So make sure you stay tuned. Also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any information about any upcoming DLC for Farming Simulator 22, whether it's free or whether it's paid. Let's just finish watching the end of this video, and then I will go over some important details for you. Okay, so let me be upfront and very clear with you. I am not a Giants partner. I do not get paid for reviewing or selling any DLC, whether it's the Seasons Pass, the individual packs, or the base game. So, my opinions are purely independent. They are not influenced at all by Giants. Secondly, I'm going to compare Giants' announcement of their Year 2 Seasons Pass with other companies' announcements of the Year 2 Seasons Pass, and where I think things are good and bad. And finally, final point I really wanted to emphasize too is I know there are two arguments that you are going to make as a viewer, and that is that I'm a YouTuber, so I get paid off of the number of views of the video. Not yet. I don't have enough subscribers for that. And secondly, I get a lot more views off how-to videos than I do off of reviewing DLC content. For example, everyone wants to know how to make it snow in Farming Simulator, and that's my #1 rated video. Now, interestingly enough, when Giants made their announcement on November 6th, so yesterday, I was just looking at my analytics today, and a video I made about 2.5 months ago where we talked about all the content that was released for Farming Simulator 22, whether it was free or whether it was a DLC, is back in the top 10. Well, it's actually back up to the #2 most viewed video for the last 24 to 48 hours. And that video was essentially my take on what Giants you just saw in the Giants video, where I compared the Seasons Pass to all the free content and asked, was the Seasons Pass worth it? So there's obviously a lot of people trying to decide whether or not a Seasons Pass is worth it or not. And I will definitely link to that video if you look at the top of the screen, so you can watch it, because it just doesn't talk about what was released. I break it down exactly into the number of pieces of free content we got versus the number of pieces of content we got from paid DLCs. Having said that, let's first quickly recap what Giants released in their news video. Or not their news video, their press release. There are 5 packs coming, and yet again, just like with the Year 1 Seasons Pass, everything has a very cryptic name to it. Pack 1, taking baling a step further. It's got a picture of cornstalk, doesn't tell us anything more than that. Is it going to be maize plus? Is it going to be just a way of baling cornstalks? Who knows? You pay your money and you take your chance. And then pack 2, machines to rule the mountains. Well, there are only 2 maps that I know of that have mountains in them. As I said in the other video, Erlingrat, and, well, they're not even mountains in Silverrun Forest. They are steep hills. Pack 3 is a total mystery. I call that a loot box. Or I'm going to call it a loot box. Same as you get in an MMO or a free-to-play game. Except this time you're paying for it. Well, I guess you pay for loot boxes in MMOs too. Pack 4, equipment to improve your productivity. And then finally, the big expansion, number 5, which is a new map with lush and exciting crops. So that's what Giants have kind of let us know. And that's all they're willing to let us know. If you read the fine print or you watch yesterday's video, actually this morning's video, about what to expect from the Year 2 Seasons Pass. So I went on Steam, and as I said, I looked up a couple of other companies' DLCs that they have announced pretty much around the same time as Giants announced theirs. December seems to be the DLC announcement time, and I guess that's not DLC, the Seasons Pass announcement time, and I guess that's because companies want to sell their DLCs, maybe bring in some money, give the staff a Christmas bonus, who knows. But I thought I would stick with the 2 that at the top of the list, pretty much released exactly around the same time as the Giants announcement and the pack went on sale. First is the Assassin's Creed Valhalla Seasons Pass, and secondly is Marvel's Midnight Sun Seasons Pass. So I looked a little bit deeper into those. While they don't give exact dates for the content that's going to be released, much like Giants, they give a rough guideline. They do tell you exactly what you're going to get out of the Seasons Pass. So Marvel's Midnight Sun, for example, tells you what new characters you're getting, what new skins you're going to get, and that what characters will be able to use or won't be able to use those skins. So they break it down nicely, and you are not left guessing with rather cryptic being another games company, you're not left guessing with rather cryptic names as to what the possibility of these packs are. Now, and like I said, they sound kind of interesting, but they could also turn out to be a massive dud. That's the problem. So to explore that further, I thought we would look at the Year 1 Seasons Pass, excluding, again, free content. This is purely what you're paying for. And unfortunately, I had to go back into my video archive to find out exactly what they called these titles, because the blog where they first announced them is hidden deep in the blog archive. So the first pack was the Ontario Carrero pack. The fancy and rather cryptic name for that pack was New Machines for Your Farm. Then, of course, we had the Kubota pack, which was This Will Drive You Crazy. The Vermeer pack, which was called Get Things Done More Efficiently. That sounds very familiar, doesn't it? It sounds like one of the packs they just announced. And then, of course, there was the Platinum expansion pack, which was just called expansion number 1, I believe, at the time, kind of like the new one's called expansion number 2. Well, again, Giant said if you pre-ordered, you would save money. This time, I think they're claiming you'll save something like 30% over the price of buying all these packs individually. I purchased the year one seasons pass so I could basically review each pack as it came out, because, as I said, I'm not a Giants partner. As I said, it also turned out that that wasn't necessary, because I got more views off of the fact sheets videos, let alone my how-to videos, than I did about actual views for reviewing the pack when it came out. Had this been me, Jay, as it is now, I probably wouldn't have got the year one seasons pass, even with the promise of savings. And we'll take the Ontario Carrero pack, new machines for your farm. That was very enticing. Well, had I known, and I guess this is why they kept it a secret, that it was going to be 10, they're beautifully detailed, but I'm going to call them 10 crappy tractors that have absolutely no horsepower and no place on a large farm. They're very specialized. Even Dagawin, who looks for small equipment, really did nothing with this pack. Had you given that one a pass, whatever savings they said you would make were negated, as the Ontario Carrero pack cost, had to quickly do the math there, 24.98, or let's round that up to 25% of the total price of the DLC. I think they were promising a 20% versus a 30% savings, and this time it's a 30% because there's one extra surprise pack in there. The Kubota pack, like I said, this will drive you crazy. A lot of Kubota fans were really happy, and you know what? I kind of enjoyed this pack. Would I have got it? If I hadn't wanted to do the reviews or not? Well, I haven't found much use for the Kubota pack apart from the skid steers. I really am enjoying the skid steers and the RTV/ATV, the fast one, not the slow one. The slow one, at that speed, I still use the John Deere Gator for. So I probably got 50% usage, not even 50% usage out of it, and it would have all been, well, I probably would have got it. Now, the Vermeer pack, getting things done more efficiently. Yes, the self-propelled baler is really nice. The tow-behind baler? There are other balers in the game that do exactly the same thing. The self-propelled baler? I've used it a couple of times. However, again, really it's no more efficient than the pull-behind baler. It's, I think, got 1 extra mile per hour working speed over the other, like tow-behind balers. You still have to stop, you still have to unload. You're really not getting anything done more efficiently. Platinum DLC? Yes, I would definitely have got that. And I always buy the Platinum DLCs, because they usually present good value for their money. Now, we also look, and they're claiming that the Euro Grapeliner Series 7000 was a bonus thrown in for the season pack. I'm going to leave that one alone. I can't speak to the internal workings of Giants, but unlike the front loader, the Volvo front loader, that's been announced to go along with the second year seasons pass, or seasons pass 2, came midway through the seasons pass. So The skeptical reviewer in me says it was almost an afterthought. We got a license for this. What do we do with it? Let's throw it in as a bonus to get more people to buy the season's pass. Anyway, having said all that, the Platinum DLC, as I said, was really the only thing I considered to be a must-have. And my gut is telling me that it's going to be the same this time around. They also talk about new brands and new partners in their press release for the Year 2 Seasons Pass. Well, my concern is, and I pointed this out in my other video, is who's left? Kubota was the last big name in agriculture. Volvo, that's more into industrial equipment. They do trucks, they do front-end loaders, they do stuff like that. It's perfect for the logging environment, but it's not really agricultural. So, let's very quickly look at the rest of what was released. Not as part of the seasons, necessarily as the season's pass, but just came out over the year. Precision Farming, free DLC. Well, that was sponsored by the European Union and John Deere. Since they paid for it, there was no real way Giants could charge for it. AGI Pack, sponsored by AGI. Both the Precision Farming DLC and the AGI Pack I have played the wheels off of. If you excuse the expression. Pumps and hoses. It's a paid DLC, but again, Giants, like the press release for the Year 2 Seasons Pass, it was not included because it was done by a private developer, even though it was sold under the Giants brand name. I read an article in PC Gamer about this, and they call such tactics scamware. In other words, you buy a DLC expecting to get a season's pass, and all of a sudden you find out the companies are throwing in extra content that you have to pay for, and it's a scam. Now, I initially wasn't too keen on this pack, but it has definitely grown on me. And I really wish this had been part of the Seasons Pass instead of the Ontario Carrero pack. I would have even preferred this in the long run over the Kubota pack. Now, I know there's a lot of people going to say, I love Kubota, and that's fine. But that's not my point. My point is, a season's pass should be a season's pass. It comes from sporting. So, I'm going to give you this, throw this out there. If you are a Boston Bruins fan, hypothetically, and you buy a season's pass to the Bruins games, and all of a sudden they're playing the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you try and get into the game with your season's pass, and they say, oops, sorry, Toronto Maple Leafs, they're not an American team, so they're excluded from the season's pass. Could you imagine the horror that the press would release on that? No wonder, like I said, PC Gamer, when they did their review on season's passes, called what Giants is doing essentially scamware. Bait and switch. Well, yeah, we'll sell you season's pass, but we are going to throw in extra stuff that you're going to have to buy. Hey, okay, I've made my point. Now, very quickly, I am going to touch on Farming Simulator 19 and what I did and did not buy. I did not buy, even though it was only $4.99, the Grimmy Potato Pack. Wasn't worth it. I'm not that into potatoes. I'm quite happy with using the base game equipment. Precision Farming, free again, because it's sponsored by somebody else. I played excuse the expression, I played the hell out of that in 19 as well. Alpine DLC, I got that purely in year 3 while waiting for Farming Simulator 22 because I was getting rather bored and I was just curious. And I actually had an overtime check, so I was like, well, 20 bucks out of my overtime check is not that much. Borgo pack, I played the crud out of that. Kverlin pack, I would actually have to go back in and see if I think I do own that one. John Deere Cotton DLC, definitely got that one. And the Platinum Expansion Pack, I got that just because I wanted to see what the class equipment was all about. I actually, not a huge fan of class, and again, I got this because I had a little bit extra cash. Homa DLC, I got it because it was free. Didn't really play it. The Anderson Baling Pack, I got that and I used it a lot. So, out of the, again, content released, had it been DLC, Seasons Passes or not, I would have really, let's scratch off the Alpine DLC because I felt like I wasted my money with that. I got what, 50% of what's being offered? Kind of like, if you're lucky, going back up to the year 1 Seasons Pass, I would have, had I not paid for the Seasons Pass because it sounded very enticing, I would have probably only paid for 50% of what was included in the Seasons Pass plus pumps and hoses. Therefore, this time around with the year 2 Seasons Pass, sorry Giants, you are not getting my money for this pass. I will cover, like I said at the beginning of the video, I will cover the news releases and the announcements so you guys know what's going on. Again, make sure you subscribe so you can find out whether you're interested in it or not. And I will take each pack as it comes. Maybe I will regret not buying the Seasons Pass at the end of year 2. But again, the names are all just too vague, especially equipment to improve productivity. I mean, that was essentially the name of the Vermeer pack, and as I said, it wasn't really anything worthwhile, except for the self-propelled baler. Pack 3, a bonus pack. Like I said, to me, I don't know, that could be so much of anything. It really does sound like a loot box. Machines to rule the mountains. Again, I can't see that helping me on Elm Creek. I can't see it helping me on Welka Farms or some of the other maps that I play. Pack 1, if it turns out to be something like Maize Plus, great. If it's just a way of wrapping corn to make corn stalk bales, unless they do something really fancy with it, nah, I'm gonna give it a pass. Like I said in the other video, yes, it's the thing. If you watch how farms work, they wrap corn stalks, they mulch them and wrap them for fodder. Sorry, not fodder, for bedding. And the cows get a little bit of fodder out of it, depending on whether they're pooped on it or not. But if that's all it is, nah, not gonna get it. So, now that we have taken up far too much time discussing this, I am gonna say, yeah, I am gonna give the year 2 Seasons Pass a pass, as in a miss, unless Giant suddenly turns around and does what Fraxis or the other companies that I talked about earlier do, and actually itemize what is coming before you buy the season's pass. And I personally think that's the way it should be done. They know, they give the line in here about they want to work with their partners. They know who their partners are. They know what the brand names that are coming are. They can do that now if they really wanted to. I can't help but call this bait and switch. We'll give you some fancy names just like we did with year one and hope we suck you into buying the season's pass. All right, my final thought before I sign off is I know I am probably going to get some hate mail from fanboys. But I don't mind. I wanted to give you my opinion on whether or not this is worth it or not. And like I said, based on what they did with the year one season's pass and all the fancy names, no. I am taking a wait and see approach this time. Right. Thank you for watching. Definitely leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And we will talk to you in the next video.